Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ran. In this channel, I share knowledge and practical techniques on everything about mental health. So today, I wanted to continue talking about this topic, which is no reply anxiety. This refers to when we have this unbearable anxiety, which often comes with intrusive thoughts, like you just constantly go on fantasies or rumination about someone, like you become obsessive about why they don't respond to you, which triggers severe abandonment anxiety for some of us. The reason I wanted to make this topic is that I personally find it really painful and exhausting whenever I get triggered on this abandonment anxiety when I experience perceived distancing through delayed response or no response at all. This is extremely painful, and all this years I've been trying to figure out why this happens. I have to try to understand it from this developmental trauma perspective and also the fear of abandonment underneath it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 specific steps and 3 questions to ask yourself in order to soothe this no reply anxiety. Since I'm trying to make my videos shorter so that people can understand my content in a more structured way, I'm going to divide today's content into 2 parts. And this is going to be the first part. Before jumping into specific steps, I wanted to briefly discuss the background, like why this happens, because I think it's essential for us to show us this compassion, because a lot of us, we shame ourselves for being needy. Because when people don't respond, we panic and we become fearful that they may leave me. And it's not a voluntary experience because there's no way we can control those intrusive thoughts. That's why we shame ourselves for being needy, for being this defective person, because everybody seems to be fine when their partners don't respond. So the background information you need to know is that the reason we're obsessive about someone to mirror us, to connect with us, is because they represent some kind of symbol for comfort, for love, for nourishment, for engagement, linked to our primary caregivers. Because as children, when we're growing up, there's no way we get to meet our needs. Like we don't cook, like we don't prepare food, we don't prepare water, we don't meet our needs. We only cry and signal the caretakers to provide us the attention, the positive feedback, the co-regulation, this merging experience that we need to feel secure, to feel loved and validated. The original relationship with our caregivers basically models the way we view ourselves. If we view ourselves as lovable, as self-sufficient, or if we view ourselves as incapable, unwanted, annoying, and defective. So when we perceive ourselves as lovable, we trust that the caregivers will come back somehow, even if they take this temporary leave. They will come back, and we trust that they can meet our needs. But on the other hand, if we don't get consistent reassurance, if we don't get consistent emotional availability from caregivers, we start to develop this belief that this world is unsafe. We don't trust people to take care of ourselves. Imagine how horrifying it is for a toddler, for a child, to be left alone, to be abandoned, risk not being able to survive. One of my favorite trauma healing books is The Body Keeps the Score, and it says something like, well, what's not acknowledged by mom does not exist. This is my favorite because I think it just described so perfectly about how our relationship with our mom mirrors how we feel about ourselves. When we grew up as children who didn't get sufficient mirroring, positive mirroring from our parents, we constantly seek external mirroring. We constantly seek to be linked to someone we symbolize as safe. We constantly look for this person to provide us positive regard at any circumstances. We wanted them to see us. We wanted to be mirrored by them. That's why we constantly seek external validation to complete this task that's not being done properly, sufficiently when we're children. We need to practice finishing this step by ourselves instead of constantly seeking for this external symbol, because we all know consciously it's not about this person, how loving they are. It's not about how we need them. It's not about like they're the perfect partner for us, even though some of us, we know that they are not good partners. But We still do this unconsciously because we need someone to finish this step of mirroring for us. Based on my personal experience, it's a doable thing. I did it, and I've seen a lot of people who have healed from trauma, who have successfully healed from abandonment trauma. They learned to self-regulate. They learned to cultivate this inward seeking ability to provide self-assurance instead of constantly seeking outside, instead of constantly freaking out, to giving our power away to other people. So next I'm going to talk about the specific steps on how to do it. The first step is to release shame. Oftentimes when we feel like we're panicking about someone not responding, we shame ourselves for being needy. We hate ourselves for being like this because, well, why can't we be like normal people? We spend enormous amount of energy trying to persuade ourselves to not freak out, to soothe ourselves, to finish this impossible task of not freaking out on someone who is, even in a perceived way, distancing from us. So we really need to have this compassion first. It was only because of the normal needs as children to survive didn't get met. We are the victim. We didn't do anything wrong to deserve this. It was only because we were born into this family where our parents couldn't be emotionally available to us. They probably didn't intentionally do this. They probably were just preoccupied with their own depression, with their own anxiety or addictions to get away from their own problems. But as children, we only see this world around us. We feel like it's all about us. We did something wrong. So we have this defective thinking about ourselves, like it must be something wrong with me. We wanted to see this in a broader view of why we do this. We need to get curious so that we can offer more compassion towards ourselves to take the following steps. The second step is to self-soothe. At this stage, you don't have to understand what's going on behind this maniac situation. You just have to soothe yourself first. Because at this time, you don't have the ability to question yourself because you only operate from this mind level and it's all entangled and it's all messed up because you cannot outthink your anxiety at this stage. So what I wanted to do is to self-soothe. For me, a really effective way is to go for a walk. Oftentimes I would go to the nature, I would go to the park, and I would try to feel the warm breeze in the air. I wanted to try to hear the birds sing. I wanted to notice the nuances in the air, just everything around me. And when I pay attention to external things, it sends my brain a signal that it's a safe environment, everything is serene. It's not a panicking and unsafe and crazy world out here, so you're safe. So it's my self-regulating signal that the world is safe. So you're not trapped on your mind, you're okay, like you're safe. And only if I perceive this world to be safe, I feel more encouraged and empowered to connect with my body. And I would try to take deep breath. I would try to connect with my body. Like I would try to feel the muscle when I walk. I would try to feel my chest, my hands, my face, just every body parts of mine so that I can connect with it to stay in the present moment. When we're drifting away, when we're drifting too much from the fantasies, from the stories that why this person don't respond, they are abandoning us and all those crap in our mind, it's like we're operating from the mind level. We're not actually connecting with our body. We're not actually connecting with the world. So this step is to pour yourself out gently. Not to talk yourself out of it, but to pour yourself out to feel the bodily experience that you are safe. And the third step, of course, at this stage, you have already relieved yourself. You become calmer. You are in this more serene situation to deal with yourself.